The issue of sexual harassment in tertiary institutions has been very, very alarming. But we have a very serious issue here, because while there is these allegations of sexual harassment, the university, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, have set up a panel to investigate. The students are saying, well, you have not told us the report of that panel, and nobody has been punished, nobody has been dismissed from work because of the findings of that panel. But a spokesperson to the VC is saying, well, we understand that we have this investigative panel set up and we are dealing with this strictly, but that no student has come out to own up. I mean, I was sexually harassed. And we know the implication of all of these on students. Students are always very careful, anything that would indict them. Now, let's look at it, first of all, from the angle of the students, that the report has not been made public. And secondly, from the angle of the media aid to the VC, saying that no student has come up to face a panel owning up to being abused. What's your take?
So, here's the thing. Over time in universities generally, it's been a very prevalent issue. As a matter of fact, sexual assaults and sexual harassment are things that can be tied to most male lecturers. Now, one of the reasons is particularly not necessarily because it's a norm or something that shouldn't be a social anomaly in the universities, but sometimes, in all sense of honesty, some of these students do make themselves available for these guys as a result of the fact that they need higher grades or they just want some kind of favors or something. Notwithstanding, I also know quite well that some lecturers can be attracted to students, and the only way they would want to get you is to punish you by deducting your marks or ensuring that you don't pass a particular course until you succumb to what they want. And this is not something that the government is unaware of, because the instances we're actually citing right now is one that is not the first, neither is it the second. It's not peculiar to us as a nation. It's not peculiar to a particular university. It's prevalent. It's almost like a recurring issue in every university. I'm not going to say there is any university that is free from it, because these lecturers are there. Take, for instance, what's going on in Unical just last week. The dean of the Faculty of Law, which is really, really appalling. It's an affront, indeed, to the practice of law. And it's very pitiable. It's disheartening that these things are happening. And even the dean of the Faculty of Law, who is supposed to be protecting students, and not just protecting, but fighting against such happenings, is also a perpetrator. It's really pitiable. But then again, coming to think of the fact that students have been unwilling to show up, now, I do not blame them solely, because in as much as they may be coming out to say we need students to come out and attest to the fact that they've been sexually assaulted or harassed, there is always an implication. You don't want to be the face. Nobody wants to play the hero, because you might just be there and, yes, this has happened, and boom, you're the villain. Everybody would be like, are you the only one? Are you the first? Did it start with you? And all those things. And of course, you coming out to call on a lecturer, it's you against the management, it's you against the lecturer, it's you against other students.
And even other lecturers.
Yeah, and you against other lecturers, because one of the things these guys do, if you have an issue with a lecturer, right, and he doesn't want to do anything to you directly, they are friends, and they have friends and friends and friends of friends. So it's a circle. So he may not do anything to you, but you may likely not pass the other courses that are. So that's the thing. So nobody wants to play that hero role, and nobody wants to put yourself at the front line. It's bad, because female students are going through trauma. Now, these things are going to affect their learning abilities. It's going to affect their academic lifestyle. It's going to affect their zeal and their passion for studies. You see, when a young lady has put in so much effort, irrespective of the societal disadvantage that is attached to being a lady. I'm saying this with all sense of honesty because there are a whole lot of there are so many parts in Nigeria right now that we have a lot of ignorant people saying ladies are supposed to end up in the kitchen, ladies are supposed to just give birth and take care of the home. But when a lady has taken it upon herself as a burden and a responsibility to push further, to become something, to become useful, to become important, to become a figure, and haven't gone through the strenuous process of studying and putting in your time and everything, and you get to the university, and because you're beautiful, it's now an advantage. Now that's bad.
Now let's look back at this issue because the students are demanding that the reports of that panel be made public.
Yes.
I don't know what they intend to do with that, but you think if that report is made public, it's going to let them have justice?
Well, it depends on what the report says, and what the report says would be based on the evidence that has been made established. Because, of course, the court is not the Father Christmas that would give judgments based on illusions, based on imaginations, based on yeses. Of course, they said that this happened is not enough for a judgment to be passed against or in favor of a person. So I think what these students should do right now, in a bid to facilitate and foster what the panel would come up with, should come out regardless. It's going to be a lot, but if any of these students can take it up as a risk, if they can take it up as a burden to just show up, and it might not necessarily be a visual testimony. You could send recordings, you could send anonymous messages.
All right.
Just do well to give details, precise information, call the names of the lecturers, and if it's something that is true, they can't deny these things. If you have enough evidence to prove, right? So I think the students should come out. If they don't come out, then these issues will continue to go on.
Well, coming out again, just like all you've explained, will still depend on the fact that the school have to assure them that nothing is going to happen to you and your studies.